Yeah, greetings, greetings, greetings. Àlàáfíà, àlàáfíà, àlàáfíà. Aboru, aboye, aboye, aboshishe. Right. Let's talk bit about cannabis. This popular plant called cannabis, otherwise known as weed. I'm not sure, spliff, skunk, Mary Jane, marijuana, many names. They are very actually attractive names, really. Marijuana sounds so attractive. So also is Mary Jane. I could imagine that. So we're speaking on cannabis now, and cannabis sounds cool too. So let's talk a little bit about cannabis. I know it's been a lot of questions being asked. I'm just being quiet because I have a lot of distance better than sisters that smoke cannabis. So it's been taking me a while to respond to this video. So let's just do it. So people do say cannabis, like when they smoke cannabis, they get very creative. So I used to ask myself, what kind of creativity is that? Creative to create planets, or creative in the sense of creating the universe, or creating the galactic systems, or them things like star systems. So this is the kind of stuff that comes to my mind when people really say to me that cannabis actually allow them to be very creative. And so I never imagined that they probably just saying that when they get creative, maybe in the music studios and all that, it makes them write good lyrics. You know what I mean? So it makes me wonder, man. So if you don't smoke cannabis or weed or whatever, you can't write good lyrics. Man. This is funny, man. So so people will say it makes them relax. They get high. I'll be like, so if you don't smoke cannabis, you can't get high. You're supposed to get high naturally. How much cannabis do children smoke to become high? Children get high all the time, naturally. So we should get high naturally. We shouldn't be depending on like smoking anything to get high, and we shouldn't be depending on smoking anything to be creative. So a lot of people that kind of been using cannabis as instrument for a while, they will say, oh yeah, but the native Indians smoke it. So the native Indian what? We're talking about things that goes back to eternity. He's talking about things that happened like 6 millennia ago or so. Like they call peace pipe. How can you be smoking pipe to have peace? All these things that people all these things they speak about to be able to defend some kind of addiction, really. You don't need to smoke anything to get high. You don't need to smoke anything to be creative. You could do that naturally. People that put the galactic system in the universe don't smoke nothing. And people that have made it to the ancestral realm, they don't smoke nothing. Not the way we interact with plants. Yes. Maybe I might need to go and ask the brother Enoch, to find out what he smoked before he made the ascension to the ancestral realm and become part of the galactic family as we're speaking, plus other ones. So what we're saying is you don't need all those excuses. I never knew that me speaking about this to a couple of friends will make them distance themselves away from me, because I spoke about some things that all these things are not natural. They're not right to be smoking, because this is actually interfere with what we call Ojubo Orisha in Yoruba, which is a place where the Most High actually sits in the brain. So we don't want to clog that up. All this smoking of anything blocks that place up. These are the kind of truths that people don't want to hear, even the so-called conscious people. Conscious friends of mine distance themselves away from me just because I spoke about these things, because obviously they want to raise their children to smoke weed, to smoke cannabis and all that, So because of that, they distance themselves away from me. To each his own, man, but truth is truth. You can go and ask the Igbo You know, most of the time I spoke about cannabis being not right, the way it's being handled, people just distance themselves. They don't want to hear the truth. Only few animals want to hear the truth because they know the truth. One of them is hippopotamus. Go and smoke cannabis around hippo, or go and do any type of smoking where hippo lives. Hippo will show you the way that it shouldn't be smoking. Hippo will come out of the river and use that big body to quench those nasty smokes coming from anything, whether it's cannabis or anything. So hippo knows. So I'm just gonna have conversation with the hippos, you know, because they understand the game much more than most humans. Even the so-called conscious people don't know what's going on. You know, it's just an excuse to be addicted to what we've been addicted to. We all have addictions, you know, we recognize that, but there's no point in defending it. You know, there's no point in defending it. If we have an addiction, we have an addiction. Cannabis could be used in a different way. If you must, you can use it as a tea, you know, but no, anything smoke disturbs the immune frequency of the brain. You know, just because this kind of statement doesn't sit down well with you, doesn't mean it's not true. Anything smoke disturb the immune tone of the brain. You know, it causes disorder with the celestial deities that reside in the brain. And like we said, just because this doesn't sit right with you, doesn't mean it's not true, you know. So what we say now is just about Mary Jane, cannabis, waste, skunk, whatever names people give these plants. They say it has all this medicine. Yeah, that's true, but so also is dandelion. So also is burdock. So also, if you can smoke them once, you can smoke dandelion as well. You know, so you can smoke all these things. But what we actually saying is smoking of anything disturbs the brain. That's why it disturbs the immune tone, the immune frequencies of the brain. You know, so, but as we say, to each his own, you know, we just have to keep the truth alive, you know. So, wellness to you and your family, and wellness to my big animal called the hippopotamus. Yeah, thanks for the clarity. Ashe, 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 Ashe Jumari. Right. Aboru, aboyi, aboyi, aboshishe. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe.